Hello, welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Z for the MSEM format. This is Caillou, and I'm here with Pipsqueak, and today we're going to be commentating the round 3 match for Grand Prix Z. It's between Key, who is on Red White Ninhasir, and Monger, who is on Suicide Red. So essentially, Monger's deck is like a straight aggro deck. It's go for the throat, has a bunch of creatures, and just has like a low curve and aims to just kill you right out the gate. Meanwhile, Key's deck has a similar kind of like burn, just like go for face plan, but is a lot more mid-rangey and can like switch up its style to be controlling because of like using burn in the early game to like kill creatures, and then later on having like strong top decks or strong like finisher cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna just jump in real quick and say Monger's deck is the type of deck that Key's deck usually preys upon. Ninhasir control style decks, or Ninhasir mid-range decks, whatever you want to call them, prey upon aggro decks that rely mostly on creatures, since it just, kills all the creatures. Key's deck is even running the Shelddrain's Rage, which is the typical hedge versus aggro.
Yeah, and
looks like Monger's
4 of 2. So the only thing that could, I think, but Monger's deck really does prey on like missteps. So I think if Key like draws into the wrong pieces or kind of just doesn't have good answers, then Monger could just like grab onto that lapse and force through the game. But I think, like you said, like having 4 Shelddrain's Rage main is insane. Having all the burn that Key does just to be able to kill Monger's creatures is just a good time. And well, Monger, I think, does have burn of his own. I don't think that it's like enough to it's not enough to like beat like flipped Ninhasir plus burn.
Monger has like a fair bit of burn, which is actually key because Ninhasir decks don't have life gain, so any damage you get on them early usually means you can finish them off later. Key's deck notably is trying something different, where it's running Sword and Board, which means it'll actually have a clean answer to Vidal before combat, which is really key. I think the fact that Monger's deck has so many haste threats probably marginally helps Monger here, but I think in general, Key's plan is going to be control the board, kill every creature, and then once Monger starts to run out of cards, just start to push back into the game with like Performer of Desire or Ninhasir.
Yeah, both of those having indestructible also, their stats are huge, but also it's not like Monger has a way to like, okay, I'm going to point burn at these creatures to kill them, and then I can swing out of my board. It's like, nah, there's no way to get around them. They're going to block your creatures for like all time, and then swing back and just deal like 1,000,000 damage. So if Key ever gets to flip either a Performer or an Ninhasir, I think that game just, unless like Key is in like significant burn range, it's definitely in Monger's favor. Monger is going first here, though, and is going to drop a Basset Charm. It's basically just a Lava Spike, which I think you prefer that to Monger having a creature, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know what Monger's hand is, but if it's Lava Spikes and like a couple of slightly more expensive creatures, that could potentially line up very well into what Key has.
And Key is Key going to open up with a Storm Surge? This is just a burn matchup, it looks like. Except, I think Monger going first helps.
Yeah, I think Storm Surge being orchestrated here is a little bit awkward because Key really wants as many burn spells as possible to be removal spells. And orchestrating Storm Surge almost guarantees that Key is not going to be able to kill 2 creatures at once, unless Key has a 2/2 to drop onto. And then that case,
it could just go Performer.
Yeah, so if Key has a Performer, Storm Surge can answer the carry distance. Although the distance is going to have done 4 damage by that point, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah. Like the Orchestrate becomes strangely relevant there, because since you have to cast something else before you can play it, you're going to just ping yourself for 1 more damage with the basically the anti-storm clause on Rikiri.
Yeah. Rikiri Dissonant is a very underrated card in this format, so I'm glad to see Monger registering it. I think it's usually a 2-mana creature that deals at least 3 damage to your opponent, and usually more like 4 or 5. Because even if they answer it cleanly, it's a 2/2 with haste that deals them 1 when they remove it, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I think the main thing that's been like holding him back is that like we were talking about earlier, like people have not been playing aggressive lists that much until this GP, which saw like a crazy influx of aggressively
Yeah,
oriented lists.
and I
And I
assume
think
yeah,
like Jund and those type of mid range lists were the type of like oh god, another Recurry Dissident, but were the type of lists that would maybe play Recurry Dissident, but Jund also like I think the double red kind of threw it off in that regard.
yeah. I mean, I definitely registered it in some Recuri as in some ooh this
I think doing this in response was a mistake because
yeah
Key should have.
this is a huge punt.
Because even if you take more damage from the Recurry Dissident, like you'll take 4 damage from the Recurry Dissidents, but then the orchestrates, but being able to just kill, but you'll take 2 damage anyways from this Recurry hitting you in the face, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're forced to hit Monger in the face, and then this next Recuri Dissident pings you for another 2. Um, so Key
and
is
Key
going
does
down to
not,
11 this turn.
and Key emphatically does not have a faster clock than Monger right now.
No,
So
when you're down to 11, and then you're down to 10, if you immediately untap and remove the next Dissident, that's just 3. That's like just over 3 lava spikes away. That's
yeah,
terrible.
and it's like Key could prevent what, like there's literally no reason not to just wait for Monger to resolve this and then start of combat kill, because Monger like is not going to have anything to like counter your burn,
Mhm.
and you just take 1 less damage because now Key has to spend an extra mana or spend an extra spell to kill this Recurry Dissident.
Yeah, and I mean, you do take 4 damage, but 4 damage is actually how much damage you ended up taking here anyway, because you took 2
And you
damage
take
off
1 more damage next turn from having to kill it, so you take five
Yeah,
damage in total, and it's like ah.
yeah, so you should have just waited until after it resolved before combat to kill both of them.
Mm-hmm. So Key tapping out for a Ninhasir's March. Yep, Ninhasir's March gonna whack the
Which will kill the
Dissident.
Mercury Dissident, not
Mm-hmm.
bad, but
And
if
Scrying 3 is nice because now you can stack your deck with like answers, hopefully.
yeah, answers, then the other land drops you need, um, it's a lot of pseudo card advantage, but I would you know, he just kinda dies here if Monger goes land Vidal. Like,
Yeah,
I
wait.
don't think he's, survived that. You take 8 immediately, and then you're just on death's door.
Mm-hmm. Like, wait, is the only Vidal target that Monger has in his deck Kinken main board?
Yep,
Okay, yep.
yep.
Or,
The version that just nobody, popularized, at least in my brain, was the one where you run 1 copy of King Ken and 1 copy of what's it called? It's,
I don't remember. I know what you're talking about. It's
Blood
something else
Covenant.
that deals like some damage when
Yeah,
it
it's
leaves or
called Blood
enters.
Covenant, I think, and it's an
Mm-hmm.
enchantment where, at the beginning of each end step, you can put a counter on a creature that dealt damage this turn, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice it and a creature to fling that creature. So the full Kin-Ken combination is
12 damage.
Vidal
If you, yeah,
Vidal
you
hopefully hits Kin-Ken, which
and
then the
then
next
with and then
copy
you
of
with the
Vidal
copy you hit
Blood
the
Blood Covenant. So
yeah.
The one Vidal cast overall does 4 plus 4 plus 5 damage, so it does
Mm-hmm.
13 damage. Which, like, it requires a couple of things to go right, but that's a lot of damage.
It's like a coin flips odds. I mean, you're playing red. You're playing a coin. You're like
And
whatever.
but
Like
neither of those cards is bad to draw, so you're not screwed in that case. It's just you either have the actual nuts, the average case, or something slightly worse than average case.
and yeah, and I guess that does protect against you like manually drawing Ken and then being like, oh crap.
Yeah,
Okay, so Monger tapping out for Advocate of the Hunt. I think this is probably the card which allows for like, other than Vidal, allows for like the nuttiest things to happen. Of course, not having
I
haste
agree.
is a bummer.
I think the fact that Monger didn't play land and just played this, I would guess that means there's a bunch of burn in hand.
Because
which
otherwise would play a hasty creature and then play this next turn, right? Like I'd
yeah,
assume.
I think so.
Because especially
Um,
when Key is tapped out, you don't like when Key is tapped out. There's no reason not to just drop a haster, and at the very worst, it's like a shock/lava spike. At
it
best,
could
on you untap with it.
it could also be like a Vidal and a Kinken, I guess.
Yeah, that would be the unfortunate part we're talking about. I wonder what Key is thinking about here. Like, okay, I guess the sun. It could just be like, should I play this shock fetch untapped and then get greedy? Is Key gonna play another Ninhasir's March here? No, Hail
Ooh,
Taze.
IL is
Okay,
so there's probably just gonna be a +1. I would guess Key is gonna have IL
+1.
deal the damage
Deal
to
two.
itself, so it's
Yeah,
effectively
deal
a
damage to
-1.
itself, and then kill Advocate of the Hunt. Um, and then next, if Monger has like a hasty threat and it swings at IL, then yeah, okay, you're fine with that. Like
Yeah,
because
if
then
IL
it's essentially like a gain 2+. Oh no,
ooh,
but Key's shocking
I disagree with
herself
that. Now
because yeah,
you're dead to 3
this
lava.
puts her in Vidal plus Kinkin range, like we were talking about, right?
Yeah. Especially because it's not necessary. IL taking 2 damage here still leaves her with 2 loyalty counters, and you can still keep doing things.
Yeah, and it's like, sure, she may die next turn, but then you much prefer her getting like sniped than anything else.
You prefer her dying than you dying. Like in this matchup when
Yeah,
you have 10 life left.
unless the next two cards in Key's hand are just absolute trash, and I can't imagine like because I feel like Key's deck runs mostly good cards. Like I can't imagine what would be trash in Key's hand. Um,
Especially because you're probably close to Ninhasir flipping.
mhm. Oh yeah, and then you can just. But oh no, Monger just has an advocate of the hunt and has to another advocate of the hunt and has to pass. This is stabilization for Key. Like doesn't have life gain, but I
This
think
is
like
this is thoroughly undeserved stabilization.
yeah, okay, maybe you're right. But I mean, if Monger is really just like as soon as I get my third land, I'm gonna like smack you with Vidal, then it's still like then I think it's still a good spot for a Monger. Key could like I think Key's debating whether or not to crack the shock fetch before draws, and I think that probably indicates that Key does not have the fifth land for Ninhasir in hand.
Could also, I guess, just be saving up more burn spells and hoping that Key deals herself 2 more damage with IL, which if she does that, that's just such a big punt. Because here's the thing, Key already put herself from dead to 4 lava spikes to dead to 3 lava spikes, and putting
Mm-hmm.
yourself dead to 2 lava spikes is just pointless.
Yeah, like IL is not like IL staying alive is not going to win you the game. You staying alive, however, is going to definitely win you the game.
Yeah. IL having, like, think about it this way. If you had a 3-mana walker with -1 deal 2 damage to any target, you would use that to repeatedly kill off your opponent's creatures in a burn matchup. That's
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't be taking free damage from it. You would be focusing on killing your opponent's creatures and keeping the board clear.
So I think assuming that Key has that third land, could probably just go play the land, flip Ninhasir, draw into 4 cards. Hopefully one of them is an instant speed burn spell for a threat that Monger could drop next turn. Then just ILs, kills Advocate of the Hunt, and is in a really good place. Oh yeah, like
You
actually
could
can even hold up Ninhasir as a blocker, or can just start
you could
attacking and like put
also
Monger on a 3-turn clock.
you could also just swing when in his year, see if Monger blocks, and if Monger doesn't, potentially plus IL. They've taken 2, 7, and then you just need like just shy of a burn spell, or
Mm-hmm.
just yeah.
It looks like I guess Key does not have, or maybe. No, yeah, I think this probably indicates that Key does not have that last land that she needs. Also surprised about Unceasing Flames on the Advocate rather than IL on the Advocate. Is that just me?
Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird.
Okay, tapping 3 for Ozin? Yeah, okay, here comes Ozin. And I guess
Or you
just
could have just
plus up
-1
King.
Osmond to the Advocate
I mean, I think
and
that's a
just gone
lot. That
phase.
I think like -1 Ozin on the Advocate is a lot less safe because
I
I
mean,
think that
the thing that
because
punishes
that puts
you
him
there
under
is
2 loyalty,
exactly
and then like Monger can like if Monger has a haste threat, kill Ozin, get back Advocate. Now you're in a bad spot. Like at
not
least I
really,
think.
because no players lost life, so Advocate being in play doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like just let it. Like why not just let like IL kill it? Like
The the the
he had like 3 different ways to kill Advocate there, and I think of them, Ozin would have been the worst way to like kill Advocate.
I disagree. I think you want to put Monger on a clock so Monger doesn't just cast 3 burn spells or a Vidal and kill you instantly. Because once you put yourself
You
down to
know,
8 life,
this is still like it is still a clock because Key like or
right?
you were saying like you were saying like go 4 to face and then like
Yeah,
Ozin.
yeah.
I feel like Key would have. I don't know if that would significantly change the clock. I'm going to be honest, especially with Key on 1 card in hand.
So
I feel like
that puts Monger down to 9, which means that next turn, IL puts them 7, and then a Ninhasir plus burn spell kills.
Mhm.
Whereas if Monger is at 11, um, Ninhasir plus burn spell sometimes doesn't kill because Key decided to put a bunch of 2 mana burn spells into the deck.
fair. So yeah, because 3 from Ozin plus IL, 5 from Ninhasir, and then ooh. So instead, Monger has Unjust Sentence to put Key down to and then yeah, down to 5 life, and then Avatar of Basset.
I
Avatar
mean,
of Basset really
I
doesn't
think
matter.
Monger. I really don't know what Monger has in hand, but I think Monger has just failed to stabilize, or sorry, failed to finish Key off here. And
Yeah.
I don't think this is because Key is playing this very well. I think he has made a lot of sloppy decisions. But I think it just doesn't matter. Monger's opening hand didn't have enough gas, and Key is
I
just
really think Monger must be sitting. Okay, I really think Monger must be sitting on Vidal and just being like, "God, as soon as I draw my 3rd land, you're so dead." But then just not hitting that 3rd land.
yeah. I would expect so.
Okay, so Key is gonna O-ring the Avatar of Basset. I'll Tazen hitting herself, and then like basically sulfuric vortexing Monger's face. Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess this means Key doesn't have the 5th land. Instead, is this okay? Orchestrated Storm Surge and then pass.
I
I
feel
wonder
like you
what
want
he's.
to keep Storm Surge in your hand, such that when you flip Ninhasir, actually, I guess flipping Ninhasir means you want. I don't know.
I mean, why not guarantee that you win?
Yep. You're right. I'm just so obsessed with having more cards.
I'm waiting with bated breath. Did Monger get the 3rd land drop?
Key holding up 3 mana here could also
3
be
mana has 1 card in hand, so.
if it's any instant speed thing, Monger can't do a Vidal kill.
Mm-hmm. No, only has to. No!
Oh,
No!
brutal.
He's cantripping with Kinkin. This is not what you want to see. Oh no.
Unless Monger has a haste 1-drop in hand and just drew into land.
Yeah, does Monger's deck have any haste 1-drops? I feel like it only has 2/2s.
It has Storm Shaper Adept.
Okay, yeah, that works.
That would kill IL. Doesn't
So
feel like the
maybe
line.
the earlier prediction we had of like literally having Vidal and Kinken in hand was true. Maybe had like Vidal in the opener and then drew into Kincan and then never drew into the third land. Uan end step, so Key does have face burn. Rogs or Obliterating Blast, really doesn't matter which. Yeah, Rogs.
6.
So that goes 6 damage.
And then that's dead with IL plus Azun.
Yeah. So we're going to a game 2.
That was messy, but it got there.
So Monger did. Okay, Vidal, Scorch. Oh, what? And then Monger never hit that third land. That was so unlucky. Oh my god. Well, okay, let's look at sideboarding.
All right, so I think Monger wants to bring in another Vidal.
I like what is Monger even side like Monger's deck? I don't quite understand the sideboarding. Is Ward Shatter even worth it to be able to kill like? Oh wait, does Key have Guiding Light? No, Key does not have Guiding. Key, okay.
I hope not, because you can't support it with that mana base. 12 white sources is not enough. You definitely bring in Once Shunned. So okay, usually in this type of matchup, what you do is you kind of board out the Azuns. You probably board out the Rogar's Frenzies.
Really? I thought Rogar's Frenzies for being instant speed is worth it. I would think that
you would probably
like stuff like Storm Surge or like the sorcery speed burn would go for.
So Storm Surge is probably worse than Rogar's. You then have things like Meteor Volley, Champion of Red Dawn, and maybe Once Shunned.
Yeah, those are the 3 cards I think will come in some number. Champion of the Red Dawn is actually like kind of nutty here.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be a 1-to-1 switch of Azun and Champion, and then it really just depends on how many copies of Meteor Volley and Once Shunned Jackie for what gets taken out. For Monger's deck, I'm pretty confident you take out Sword and Board, and you bring in like Vidal and maybe like Felor Charm. It's also possible you
is Red Tail. I feel like Red Tail Fencer is only for like the combo matchups. Would you think it'd be worth anything here?
No,
or you just go faster than them?
Yeah, you just need to go under them. You just need to overload them, and you really want to be on more of a burn plan than a creature plan. Honestly, I think there's an argument to just taking out all of the advocates of the hunt, because you're never going to build up a big enough board state for them, and then bringing in like Brazen Sacrilege in that slot.
Yeah, Brazen and Brazen Sacrilege is good.
I think I would trim the advocates and maybe the Aquilifers, and plausibly the Sword and Boards for Fellow Charm, Brazen Sacrilege, and a Vidal. I think that would be my board plan.
Okay, makes sense.
Because again, the deck, other than Champion of the Red Dawn, just doesn't have any life gain. So what you want to do is you just want to be on a plan where you just cast enough burn spells that you kill them.
Yep. So though maybe arguably that is a reason to keep Sword and Board in, just to have like burn that also like kills their stuff. But I can see the board part being like risky to cast because they have instant speed burn. So it could just be like, well, actually, board is kind of good with like your 2-drops versus it lines up like your 2 toughness creatures, because it lines up well versus their burn. I don't know. Sword board, the more I look at it, seems pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. Because like other than like an Unceasing Flames with 2 engrave, none of Key's burn can get over a boarded creature. And Sword can just function like the Sword part is just kind of incidental, but it can like kill a Champion of the Red Dawn before it really gets going.
I think 1 white counter a burn spell that targets a creature you control, when Key can just have other burn spells, feels a little loose. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's as good as having more burn spells, because the chances of your creature surviving are just low enough that you just kind of be better off going for it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, so like literally like take the suicide in the name, in Monger's deck name, literally. Just like your creatures are just going to be, you're throwing them at Key's face, you're not expecting them to stay alive, you don't want to waste time protecting them, you're just like there. Basically
Yeah,
just fleeing them.
you never expect a big board to build up. Key has board wipes. You're not going to be able to use out of kit, so having a bunch of these dopey creatures doesn't do anything. Trying to protect the creatures, like if you're trading 1-for-1 with that deck, they're coming out ahead eventually.
Mhm.
So what you want to just do is you want to be only run the best creatures, only run the creatures that are effectively burn spells, and then board in more burn spells.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
At least I think that's how I would approach the matchup.
Mhm. So both players keeping at 7. And Monger gets to be on the play again. And starting off with turn 1, yep, Aquila for Exelius. So at least kept 1 in, at the very least. Meanwhile, Key is going to respond, shock your boy. Or scorch your boy. No, has this turn 1 Storm Surge again. This does mean that Monger gets 1 swing in with this Aquilifer, despite it not having haste. And Monger's thinking about it. Tapped his mountains, but then untapped them. Okay, I guess Precuri Dissident. Yep, swinging for 4. This is the curve that Monger wants to see. Of course, Key can untap and then Storm Surge plus Burn Spell to kill Monger's board, but then it'll be the same line as last game, where like
Takes 2.
Key takes 2 more damage and goes down to 14.
And Monger needs starts like this, and Monger needs to keep pressing this type of advantage.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Key shocking themselves with a shock fetch. Bold. So they probably have like an obliterating blast or something right now. Oh no, and tapping out for Champion of the Red Dawn. Okay. That's actually a good that puts immediate pressure on Monger to be able to have an answer for this. Otherwise, and this is so good because then
No,
Key now.
It doesn't gain the life because unfortunately it's not in play when the orchestrate happens.
Because it resolves first and then the champion resolves. Oof.
But I mean, if Monger
Yeah.
untaps here and just kills it with a burn spell and keeps running Key down, it's only gained Key like 3 life. In that a burn spell hit instead of face.
But Monger does have like enough like burn spells that don't hit creatures, like Blasted Charm and Unjust Sentence, that even if Monger has like it'll just be a lava spike and then won't be able to like prevent Key from having this. And if Monger ever lets Key get to 4 mana, then Key can just be like, I'm just gonna. And if you try to hit me with a burn spell, cool. I'll just copy it, targeting your face, and then like essentially recoup the life lost, which is just
very
nutty.
funny.
When I first read this card, I didn't realize I'd let you copy opponent's spells, and that's a little bit crazy. I really only read it as letting it copy your own spells.
I really wonder what Monger's in the tank here.
Maybe like the only thing I can think of is like just going to attack first and then have removal for Champion of the Red Dawn second main. I don't know. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, has a Storm Surge, tapping 2.
Brazen Sacrilege.
No, Advocate of the Hunt, but now has the removal for Champion of Red Dawn, so exactly what Monger needs. And next turn, Monger swings at because Monger can ping himself with the backstage rooms. So that means Monger's swinging out for a minimum of 5 next turn.
Yeah, Key needs to have a removal spell here for the Advocate. If she doesn't, if she kept the hand on the back of has interaction and Champion of the Red Dawn, this is going to go real bad.
Like having like another like Storm Surge into 2 mana into like 2 mana burn, or like Scorch into 2 mana burn is really what Key needs here. Because like 1-for-1ing Monger, I think just lets Key stabilize. Monger's down to 2 cards in hand, and then Key can like hopefully find like another champion. I think Key's in the tank about whether or not to tap out for a Ninhasir, probably. Ninhasir, kill Advocate. Or like maybe play Champion of the... No, I think Champion of the Red Dawn into a 1-mana burn spell would be
Yeah.
fine here. Nope, Key's just going to
Ooh.
end. Not going to mess with it. So Key does have that instant speed burn.
Yeah, you don't want to give Monger the chance to untap, though. Because the second Monger untaps, unless you have 2 burn spells, this Advocate of the Hunt is proccing. Like
because you can't respond to Monger tapping the land for mana.
Yeah.
What Monger is doing that, just gonna use the land as a pseudo pump. And it's good that Advocate of the Hunt doesn't add toughness, otherwise this would be a nightmare.
Yeah, that card would be a little bit more busted if it did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Key missed. That's why Key let Monger untap. She forgot that Backstage Rooms allows Key to trigger it. So Obliterating Blast or Shaldron's Rage.
That's actually not that impressive here. Because it's still going to...
because it doesn't kick... Because Aquilifer... if Monger had instant speed burn in response to that, that would be great.
Yeah, that would have been rough.
Oh, but has the boss a charm?
Smork.
Yeah, and Key's saying, I probably die for not doing that main one. True, because now Monger gets to swing out and put you down to 4. And then you're dead to 2 lava spikes. Oh no, Mog!
There's one.
The Scorch!
Are we going to see another?
He's down to 1 life!
Well, that just shut off all of Key's shock fetches.
Shock fetches, Key can't... Like, I guess Key's pain lands are turned off, but Key needs to kill this Aquilifer, like, right now, and then also have, like, instant speed removal up to kill, like, any haste creatures that Monger has. And then if
just
Monger
go...
No, what?
Also going champion into a burn spell would be fine here. Double Performer is kind of interesting.
I mean, it does stop Monger on the ground. That is true.
Yeah, but again, any face burn, and there's a fair bit of time to find face burn also.
Mm-hmm. Monger's at 19 life. Like, he is sitting pretty. Of course, I mean, if either of these performers stays on board until next turn, Key just flips it and then just prevents Monger from ever killing her with a creature. No, wait. Oh, I thought this was the one that had flying. Never mind. Oh, no. What is the last card in Monger's hand, then? What card would Monger not play here?
Monger might be holding up mana to investigate.
Okay, yeah, Backstage Rooms. For some reason, I thought it was 2 and tap to investigate, but yeah.
I believe the Lorado lands were 2 and tap to draw, so that might be what you're thinking of.
That might be, yeah. What could the last card? If is the last card in Monger's hand like? Jesus, I don't know. Like a King Can again.
My guess is it could also be something that just kind of lines up awkwardly into the current game state. It could be a Ward Shatter, or that in for some ungodly reason.
It could just be like Ninhasir Scary.
This is a little bit spooky because I mean this doesn't lose to any particular burn. So I mean one performer is going to flip.
Yeah, which think Key is pretty. Like I think Monger's pretty okay with this because sure Monger's gonna. It's a fast enough clock, but
yeah, I mean I think Monger now just needs to top deck one of the like. Tons of lethal top decks he has.
Key's attacking. So Key probably has another creature.
Or just a burn spell.
Okay, yeah. But then what if Monger top decks a creature is the problem? Right? So you need 2 burn spells.
I mean, I'm not saying he didn't leave herself dead to a top decked creature.
Or could just go like main 2 Ozan and then hold up like Rogars. I mean, that's assuming that Key has like the best possible hand, which not always the case.
I should change my Discord noises to be do not disturb.
Monger saying pass, so desperately hoping that Key won't have anything to use this mana with. Key paying 2. Oh no, champion of the Red Dawn. And if this and if this stays on board, oh god.
I mean,
So yeah,
if Key
on
gets
end
on
step,
tap,
Monger cracking the clue or cracking the
if
backstage
Key gets
room
on
for a
tap, I'm
clue.
pretty sure Monger dies because it's 5 damage from 1 Pyrus. 6, 7, 8, 9. It's close to lethal from just Pyrus swinging.
Ugh,
But
okay, yeah.
Monger puts himself at a bunch of outs here, so.
Mhm.
Although I guess Key could have like a Shell Drains Rage, but that, I don't know, I feel like you just use it then and now. Like, I think every time you give the burn deck a chance to untap and put you in an awkward position, you gain nothing.
Uh-huh.
Just gain life then, or
I
don't.
think maybe the reason for not playing Sheldon's Rage is because he didn't want to nuke. No, that doesn't even make sense. Why not just like
Yeah, no.
nuke, like nuke, like losing
Play
one
champion,
performer is fine, and
cast it. Is Monger's hand just like double Vidal again? Because even Chigao, you're incentivized to play it
you mean
and
King
then
Ken?
swing in.
Yeah.
King Ken, yeah.
Like what is in Monger's hand? Because I feel like everything is an out for Monger, but what?
Including cracking that clue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like. And like Champion of the Red Dawn is just real good because if Key has like any burn in hand, just kill something, stabilize, and then like you kill a Quillifer, attack with the champion. Even if they chump, you gain 2. You're up to 5 life. You don't die to a single lava spike anymore, and then you just kind of take the game from there. Okay, Key is swinging out with only Pyrus. Okay, just gonna is Key gonna pump everything into it and make Monger take 10?
I mean, that's worth it if your last 2 cards feature a Storm Surge, or like anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess otherwise you may as well just like wait. Wait till I have 12. I don't know, this match is very weird to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Key is winning it in the way that I kind of expected it to go, but not the actual way these games have been playing out. It's been very different.
Mm-hmm. Actually, wait. Monger can't. I don't think Monger can't even win off a lava spike here. Oh wait,
Because
no.
he can copy it.
Yeah. So, Monger needs an unjust sentence specifically.
Yep,
Because
that's true.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. Key's tapping off of white mana.
Oh, that might be a mistake.
Well, we'll see.
Tapping 3 for what? If it's.
Yep, this is a mistake. This doesn't
Okay,
make
here comes
any safe. Oh god.
Okay.
Man, I feel like this game is literally just the hashtag never punished game of this match. Of like this GP. Because there's just been so many like decisions that just don't make sense, but just there's no consequences for them.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to pop the clue is a terrible idea because Monger just draws a card, and Monger was planning on drawing.
Okay.
All right, let's see if Monger draws one of his like a million burn spells.
Mm-hmm.
For the love of God, please just win this goddamn game.
Just let it be over. Just let the set be over. Let Key win.
I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind if the burn deck continues to break this hard.
Oh, Vidal. Where does that go here? Like, so because Key has 2 blockers, so Vidal can't even. No, but Monger can get 1 damage through, and Adept, yeah. but then champion blocks, right? How does damage work here? How did will Key gain the life in time to be able to
So Key blocks 2/4/4s, gains. Yep. This is gains
no.
2, takes 1. Yeah, this is pointless. Jesus
No,
Christ.
really, you called it. Monger did have double Vidal. Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
god.
Okay. Like so,
I don't think I could do an interview after this game.
good quotation marks games to both players. Key takes it 2-0 over Monger, and it does stop Monger because Monger was making a tear through the GP. Killed JN. I forgot who he beat last round, but did it in terrifying speed. And this is the first loss that Monger has had this GP. Meanwhile, I think does this put Key, or no, Key didn't play last round, so this puts Key to 2-0-0. So if Key wins her last round, does make the cut to top X. Yeah, but I think until next time, this is Caillou and Pip signing off.